how are you? My name's Buzz Smith. I'm a salesman in the merchant processing industry. And I decided to start this blog, this website, in order to educate merchants and business people like yourself on how this industry works. There's a lot of confusion with how to read the merchant processing statements, and understandably so. It took me a while to be able to read it, and every merchant processing company, they do their statement a little bit differently, and unfortunately some do it in a very deceptive manner. And that's the whole idea for some of them, to try to hide all these rates and fees so you don't know what's going on and you don't even really know what you're paying. So once again, I decided to set up this website, this blog, to help people out like yourself understand how to read these statements and understand what types of rates and fees are acceptable, and help you get the best deal you can. Talk to you about lots of things like lease agreements, mobile processing, payment systems, wireless credit card terminals, things of that nature. So that's, once again, the whole basis of this blog website, to help people out like yourself. So I appreciate you coming to the website, and please come back frequently. I'll be having frequent blog posts to include podcasts and also articles pertaining to the merchant processing industry. So anyway, thank you very much, and we'll see you again. Thanks. Hey, welcome back. Wanted to talk to you this time about lease agreements. Okay? That's actually one of the big things that's being pushed out there in the merchant processing industry when you have a salesman come by and try to sell you a credit card terminal. Wanted to educate you on that a little bit. Bottom line is 99% of the time a lease agreement is not in your best interest. There's always going to be some, I say 99% of the time because there's always going to be some extenuating circumstance where maybe it's a good deal, maybe. But 99% of the time it's a bad deal, all right? But I tell you what, there's a lot of merchant processing industries out there pushing it, okay? And why are they pushing it? Because that is big commission for these salesmen. Now your legit, good, stable credit card processing companies, they don't do that. They don't do lease agreements, or they certainly don't encourage their independent sales agents to do that. However, a lot of the new up-and-coming fly-by-night do, because that's how they make their money. Huge commissions in lease agreements. Okay, and I'm going to explain why it's a good deal for the salesman, but a bad deal for you. Typically, a credit card machine, also known as a credit card terminal, you can get one for about $150, okay? But now if you want to get one with all the horns, bells, and whistles, and one that takes EMV technology, which I will explain EMV technology in another episode, it's going to cost you a little bit more. That's going to be around $250, okay? Now, let's look at the lease agreement. Typical lease agreement, you're going to get a salesman approach you and say, hey, we can get you this great credit card machine with all the horns, bells, and whistles and upgrades, and the key is the warranty. That's what they'll be stressing, the warranty. You're going to get a warranty or a guarantee. If it breaks, they'll replace it for free. So, you sign up for the agreement. 5 years, 12 months, so 60 payments. And we'll say on the average it's about $70 per payment. So 60 times 70, $4,200. So over the course of 5 years, you're going to pay $4,200 for a credit card machine worth about $250, if that. All right? So that's why it's a bad deal for you. And if it does break down, you know what? No big deal. You get yourself a new credit card machine. I'd rather pay $500 than $4,200 any day of the week. But once again, that's why they're pushing it, because the commission on this, it's incredible. You're going to have salesmen out there making anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 in commission off this lease agreement. And that's just the lease agreement. That does not even include the merchant processing statement. So that's why they're pushing it, all right? But I don't, because I know it's a bad deal for most merchants and business people out there, okay? So just, you get some merchant come in, or merchant processing salesman come in, and he tries to pitch that to you, politely tell him to leave. Because if he's going to be trying to pitch a lease agreement to you, then that means he probably has no morals, values, and principles, and then he's also going to screw you on the rates and fees as well. So politely send him out the door, all right? But on the flip side of that, if you do have a merchant processing salesman come in, hey, let him talk for a couple minutes, because he might be able to save you quite a bit of money, all right, which I will discuss later with regard to rates and fees. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Hey, how you doing? It's Buzz Smith again. Anyway, this time I wanted to talk to you about EMV. What's EMV? EMV stands for Europay, MasterCard, Visa. That's the new credit cards that are coming down the pike. As a matter of fact, some of them have even come out already. Basically, what it is, it's simply put, the credit cards with magnetic stripes on them, as we know, have come to know and love. They're going out the door. And they're being replaced with these credit cards with these little computer chips in them, which I'll be showing you on the screen here in a moment. It's a little computer chip, similar to like a CAT card for military folks out there or people who were in the military. Little computer chip there in the credit card. It's supposed to add a lot of security, not supposed to, but it does add a lot more security to the credit card because, as you know, this is an industry fraught with fraud, waste, abuse, hackers. People hacking into credit card machines, identity theft, people creating fake credit cards. This cuts down on that substantially. Okay. However, with that, you need a credit card terminal for that. Okay. For example, the Verifone 570 that handles EMV credit cards. So right now, the credit card companies have started issuing these. They're kind of gradually issuing them out. However, in 2014, it's going to come in full swing. Okay. They're going to really be pushing this hard because by January 2015, you must have an EMV credit card. The magnetic stripe ones will not work. So when you do get a salesman approaching you talking to you about EMV technology and the need for an EMV credit card machine, he's not blowing smoke. It's legitimate. It is very legitimate. The question is, do you need it at this point in time, or can you wait until later? Now, you could possibly wait until later. However, keep in mind that if you do have someone come into your business with an EMV credit card, it will not work on an older machine. Now, of course, you can key it in, but then, of course, that also means a higher rate for you because, as you know, when you key in credit cards, higher rate because it's a higher risk to the bank. And I'll be covering that as well. And I talk about billing structures and things of that nature. But anyway, once again, EMV, it is real, and it will be, it's already started. That transition's already started. And like I said, it's just gradually started right now. But in 2014, it's going to go into full swing. And by, we'll say, the summer of 2014 and up into the fall, it's going to be a big push. Big push. And you'll probably even see some prices rise for credit card terminals that do accept EMV technology. So you probably do want to start looking at that sometime in the near future. Maybe not right now, this minute, but sometime in the near future, I would start looking at EMV terminals. And I will be addressing that in more detail and also have information about that on the blog post. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Once again, Buzz Smith talking to you about the merchant processing industry. Take care. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? Buzz Smith again here, Mr. Merchant website. Anyway, here to talk to you today about the billing structures. You got different billing structures out there. And I say this because all the time when I go into a business, I'll have a business say, well, what's your rate? It's such a complicated question. I can't just say, here's my rate. It depends on the billing structure, okay? You have for the most part, you have two different types of billing structures. You have a tiered billing structure and a interchange plus, also known as cost plus billing structure. Okay? With a tiered plus, it's grouped into three different categories, sometimes four, depending on what type of tiered billing. Okay, if it's a three-tiered, you're going to have the discount rate, the mid-qualified rate, and the non-qualified rate. Okay? Discount rate, basically that's a regular old plain Jane credit card. That's going to be the lowest rate possible. All right? And then you got mid-qualified. Mid-qualified is basically when you key it in, because that's a little bit more of a risk to the bank. Prime example is, let's say, a pizza joint. You know, they do delivery, and they got people calling in to get that pizza. All right. A lot of times they really don't know who's calling on the other end, and if that's a legitimate phone call, legitimate credit card, has there been some identity theft there? Did someone steal someone else's credit card? And they're giving that information out over the phone. Don't know. Okay, so that's a higher risk to the banks. All right, therefore there's going to be a little bit higher rate with that. All right, and it depends really on what type of billing structure you have, and also the merchant processor you're going with. I mean, you could see an increase if it's a tiered structure, tiered billing structure. You could be looking at easily about a 0.90 increase from your discounted rate. All right. Next is non-qualified. Non-qualified is basically kind of like these corporate cards or reward cards. You see all these reward cards out there. These commercials for these credit cards.